Today I'll be sharing with you a garment that is super easy to sew, knit fabrics, lots of options, a little bit out of my comfort zone. I haven't sewn or bought a garment in this style in a long time, but I decided to give it a go. Embroidered knit, asymmetric neckline, super cute. Keep watching. Hi sewing friends, I'm Karina from liftingpinsandneedles.com. Welcome to this channel all about sewing, limitless sewing, and thank you so much for all your wonderful comments on yesterday's video about my raglan dress. This is a Rockford raglan that I made into a bodice and matched it with the skirt of the Rhapsody. If you haven't seen that video, go ahead and look. I also made the same pattern, the Rockford raglan, into a cardigan, so super practical video for you to enjoy. And today I am back with another Love Notions pattern. The Love Notions 40% off site-wide sale is still in full swing until Friday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you have still not got your favorite patterns, maybe you want to take this opportunity to get them for less. Don't forget to use my affiliate link if you would also like to support me without any cost to you. As you know, I am a Love Notions ambassador, and as such I get to do a giveaway. So I am running a giveaway on my Instagram account. My Instagram account looks like this. I'm putting it on the screen, and where you see the grid, you will see this photo. If you go and see there, go and follow me there on Instagram and comment what pattern you would like to win. I am going to be choosing the winner tomorrow afternoon. So all the details are there in the Instagram post. If you want to win your favorite Love Notions pattern, head over there to my Instagram account. This is one that I haven't made before, and I have sort of been steering clear away from tunic patterns. I have mentioned in the past that just because of the context of the weather where I live in now, I find it really hard to style a tunic in a way that would be comfortable for me to wear every day. I have decided to take the plunge and make a garment that is out of my comfort zone, and this is the Terra Tunic. This one was a Feature Friday pattern maybe 2 months ago-ish, and I got as far as printing out the pattern in that opportunity. I was extremely busy and was not able to sew it for that time, but I always knew I wanted to try and I wanted to make it because there are features here that I find really pretty. The Terra Tunic is made for knit fabrics. It's a longer length. It is not a very loose sort of tent-like swing style tunic. It is semi-fitted, I would say. It's meant to hit at the full hip or slightly below. It depends on your height. And the front is slightly shorter than the back. There are side slits with a deep hem, and you can choose different lengths for your sleeves, you know, for different lengths. I have chosen a short sleeve for mine. And as for the necklines, that's where all the magic happens, because there's 6 necklines there. There is no way I can memorize them, so I have notes here. You have V-neck, a scoop, asymmetrical, funnel, boat neck, and a V-neck with a hood, which is something really interesting. I've never seen that before. Usually hood patterns just go onto a rounded neckline, so I thought that was really interesting. Out of all these necklines, the one I really wanted to sew was the asymmetrical one because it's just pretty. I just like it. I like anything asymmetrical in general. I think it just brings the eye in a different way. It stands out. There's also an optional welt pocket that you can sew onto the front of the tunic. I decided to opt out of that. I just want my tunic to be super simple. If you want to sew the funnel, the boat neck, or the asymmetrical neck, there are separate pattern pieces that you would attach onto your main front and back pieces, and that changes the neckline shape. So you can choose to stick it on top and then fold the other one away if you want to use both types of necklines, or you can just cut the other neckline away at a line there and stick your new piece right there. Putting a picture here so you can see what I'm talking about. So I did have to do that for my asymmetrical neckline. I had to use the little pieces, put them there on the main so that the neckline is slightly higher. You know, you have the scoop, the V, all those other necklines are in the main pattern pieces. As for fabric choices, you'd be better off with a medium weight knit that is more structured-ish. You don't want to do this out of modal, rayon spandex, that sort of thing. It's just too lightweight. It is a semi-fitted style, so you don't want anything that is semi-fitted to be done with a really thin type of material. It just does not sit right. So anything like a sweater knit, French terry, ponte roma, cotton spandex, maybe some athletic knits would be good. In my case, I chose a mystery type knit. I'm not even sure of the composition, but it is a medium weight that does have a little bit of a nice drape. It's got this lovely texture and embroidery, and I have used similar type fabrics for other projects before I've shown on the channel. Just recently I made the Sloan sweater in a navy blue fabric that is just like this one. So I have used it before, it's really easy to sew, and I've been super happy to find this online here in Brazil. Loving that fabric, and that's the type I've chosen for my tunic. As for the sizing, this pattern hasn't yet been updated to include up to 5X. So it goes up to 3X, and that is a bust of 49.5 inches and hips of 51.5 inches. This pattern does have a standard bust and a full bust option. So I use the standard bust, but if you have a larger cup size, a D cup size, or above sewing cup size, you might be better off with a full bust piece. About the positive ease, there is not much positive ease. As I mentioned, it's semi-fitted, so you have about 1 inch of positive ease at the bust. And at the hips, depending on the size you're making and if you're using the full bust piece or not, you'll find anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of positive ease. For my size, I just had 1 inch of positive ease at the hips. What I chose to do was do an L on the top, on the bust, arms, chest area, and then from the waist down, I blended from the large to the extra large. I don't like things to be really close fitted to my body unless it's an actual dress. If it was a dress made with a medium to heavyweight knit, I'm really happy to take some negative ease even at the hips. But for a garment that is supposed to be worn over something else, I would like to have some positive ease there. So that's what I did. I went from an L to an extra large. I did one length adjustment, and at the shorten and lengthen line, sort of around the waist area, I did some measurements. And I always find that the torso in Love Notion's patterns is a bit short for me. I am much taller, so I'm really used to doing length adjustments, and I sort of know where to do them. So I added 1.5 inches of length way above, like around the waist area. I did remove then 1.5 inches from the hem just to make my tunic not super long, and that meant that my slits are shorter. Also, the hem is supposed to be sewn with a deeper hem allowance, and I used just 1 inch of hem allowance to compensate a little bit. So I think the length of my tunic is looking like it's meant to. It's not super long, it's meant to hit the full hip or a little bit below that, a little bit longer at the back. About the sewing I'm going to show you, it's going to be very short. This was a very easy make. You can make this super easily. I have focused on the asymmetrical neckline. I'm going to show you how it's sewn on, super easy. It's got such a nice impact when you see it, but it's so easy to sew. So let's see. Here is the main body of the Terra Tunic, super easy to put together like any neat pattern. Shoulder seams, sew in the sleeves on the flat, then sew all that in one go. I have the slits and the hem already done with a twin needle. That was very easy to do. I always do an extra step that is not in the pattern, and that is to do mitered corners. I just can't help myself because I really love how they look. So I've done that on every little corner, and I have hemmed my sleeves. I'm doing the asymmetrical neckline, so there is a separate neckline that you have to attach onto the pattern piece to get this shape here. And on one of the sides there is a mark. So I've got that mark there. This is where the collar is going to fall, like that. And this collar piece is a big rectangle that's cut on the fold. And this is the right side. You put right sides together like that. When you have the right sides together, you just sew these short ends and flip them, and then there's a little overlap and it goes around there. It's super easy. I'll show you at the machine. I've got the collar piece there, right sides together, and the short ends match up, and I'll just sew them at 3/8 seam allowance. So after both short ends are sewn, all you have to do is flip it right sides out, and you have two finished edges like that. Super neat. So those little corners are all neat, and now you have to overlap these by 1 inch. That looks like it's 1 inch exactly. So I'm just going to baste that together. So now we have this collar piece that's joined but separated there, but joined on the top. And now this can go onto the neckline. This neckline is asymmetric, and this is the way I understand to mark quarter points, not in the traditional sense where you would mark center front and center back and all those things. And it's because this point here on the side is where that overlap of the collar has to be. So that for me is a reference point. So I just aligned all this raw area like that, marked that one first, went all the way along over there until I reached the other side, and that is my other reference point there. Then I went and met those pins and matched all the raw area there to mark that quarter point and that quarter point. So the quarter points look really mal-aligned, but the distance between there is the same. So it is dividing it into 4, just in a different way. And then we have collar piece here. This overlapped area is the one that needs to match that one. And this round bit also needs to be divided into 4. So this was easier. This is a reference point there that is dividing it in half. Then you open it up, you meet those two in the middle, and you have your other pins. So that is how I've divided my neckline and my collar into 4. And now I'm going to put this collar and slide the neckline inside and match the pins. So the most important reference was that chalk mark, which is on the pattern, like an arrow. And you draw it on one side of the neckline, not on both, because it's just on this side. When you wear it, this will be the left side. And then the overlap bit goes on top there. So this is 1/4 reference point. And then you have these other two, and that's how you match neckline and collar in 4 places. And then you serge or sew. So I've got the overlap matching the mark that was on the pattern there, right in the center. And now I'm just going to go ahead and serge. Look, the difference is not huge, like there's not that much excess of neckline compared to collar, barely anything at all. So as I serge, I'm just going to make sure that all the raw edges are together and that I'm not missing anything. So here is the next pin. Look, I don't have to stretch the collar anything actually, I think they are the same size. Now this part is super bulky, there is quite a few layers here. I have to go ahead and sew again, because I can't just leave it serged. When you wear it, it's gonna look like that. And then there's the option of putting some buttons there as decoration. I don't think I'm gonna do that because the fabric is decoration enough. I'm gonna sew around with my shallow zigzag stitch and I'll be done. This is my Terra Tunic. You can see how lovely this drapes. There is an option that you can put some buttons here as decoration, and if you look at the website listing, you'll see a lot of pictures with those buttons. I think it looks really cute. I thought because this fabric already had texture, it would just be too much, so I've just left it plain. It drapes really beautifully. At the back, it also has that feature. Now, if I had short hair or wore a ponytail, you'd be able to see that more. But I don't wear a ponytail because I get terrible headaches. I can't keep my hair up for even 10 minutes. So, but still, it's nice to look at from the back. So easy to sew. The sleeves are sewn in flat. I mean, the general construction is so easy. As I mentioned, my slits are a little bit shorter because I took some length off from here to compensate for the length I've added up here. I did mitered corners because I can't help myself. And that's why I've hemmed it at 1 inch, which is sort of the same amount that these slits are folded in on the inside. That makes it super easy to do. I have shown many videos where I show how to do mitered corners. I will link that down below. If you haven't seen how to do it, it's very easy. It does make a difference. I love doing them. So if the pattern doesn't have it, I will do it. Now, I think honestly, the instructions for this neckline are a little bit complex and they don't need to be. it does mention that you have to stretch the asymmetrical collar to fit the neckline, and when I was pinning it together, I found that they were actually the same. If the collar is slightly smaller, it's negligible. It's not enough that you have to stretch it to fit that neckline at all. So all the instructions there that say that you have to divide it into quarters and all that, I would probably just not do that. I would just align the overlap piece of the collar with the mark that you have there on the neckline, and then just pin around, and you will see that it fits. Pin it around, serge it, sew it, and you'll be sweet. You'll be done. I do think that the instructions in this pattern sort of overcomplicated this step a little bit. I did have a little bit of a moment where I was scratching my head, but I followed my intuition. I know how to construct garments. I have been sewing garments for such a long time. Sometimes I prefer just to put the instructions away and just sew it because I know how it's supposed to be. So yeah, there is a mark on the neckline, like an arrow. You have to just mark it on one side. I marked it on this side, on my left wearer's side. And I always doubt whether it was that side or the other. I always get confused with those things. So maybe the neckline was supposed to be on the other side, I'm not sure. But it is asymmetric, so I suppose it doesn't matter if it ends up with a detail here on the left or on the right side of the body. Mine ended up being on the left. So don't overthink that step if you want to do this one. Just do your overlap like I've shown you, match that overlap with that mark there, and then just pin your way around. You don't even have to worry about dividing it into quarters, I would say. Now, I was determined to make this tunic. I had 1 meter of fabric, which is just over a yard, and I couldn't, like it wasn't gonna fit. So I did a trick. At the back, you can see a seam going across. This is a little yoke that I added. Now remember, I've told you that there's a separate pattern piece that you stick on the pattern. So I used that little piece that you stick on the main piece to change to the neckline on the top as a reference. And that became a little yoke on the back. That meant that I could get my garment and I could have it, or else then I was thinking, I'm obsessed with this fabric. I want to make it no matter what. But then I would have had to shorten everything. It would have ended up being like a t-shirt with an asymmetric neckline. And I really wanted to try a tunic. Look, I used to wear tunics all the time. The last time I had real winter was in New Zealand. I left New Zealand right at the end of 2014. So it's been a couple of years already. I lived there for 6 years. And let's say that in Auckland, it's not winter all the time, but it was cold a lot. Even in the summer, there were cold days. So I would wear tunics a lot with skinny jeans. I had jeggings, I had boots, jackets. I used to rock that style. I loved dressing in that type of style, but I can't dress like that anymore. That's why I stopped wearing tunics. I just wear like shorter things or just full-on dresses that I can wear with bare legs. So I'm going to show you a lookbook that is out of my comfort zone. I dug out my only pair of skinny jeans. They are ready to wear, stretch denim jeans. They are very comfortable to wear. It's just that it's so hot, you know. But I would definitely wear this just like the way I'm showing you when next year it gets cold around May, probably. I would wear it like that. So let's see how this one looks on. I think this is a good length for a tunic for me. So it's not super long. It's not short like a shirt either. And I like that it's a little bit shorter at the front than at the back. Perfect to wear with the only skinny jeans I have. I think I could adopt this sort of length more often now. Maybe. This was an experiment and I'm happy how this looks like that. So it's a little bit long at the back. It covers the bottom, but it's not excessively long. It's short sleeves. So the tunic originally would have been about 1 inch longer. I thought it was going to be too long when I measured it, but now that I've worn it and hemmed it, I think it's right. It's really perfect for a tunic, this length. I would not want to have a tunic hitting like mid-thigh or anything, because then for me it just looks like a really short dress. But this is good. So you've got side slits there. The front is shorter than the back and covers the bottom there. The top fits really good. It fits my shoulders amazing. The sleeves are good. You know, you have long and all those other lengths, but I just did mine short sleeves. I think it's gonna be more wearable like that for me. My fabric is full of little holes because it's embroidered, but I don't think I need a cami underneath. I don't think I'm showing my skin that much. And my favorite feature is this beautiful, beautiful asymmetric neckline. Super pretty. Looks like that at the back too. And I mean, you can put buttons here, it's an option. I didn't choose to do that because my fabric has already got some texture in it. If it had just been a plain solid, for sure I would have put the buttons there as decoration. So cute, so pretty. I love this. So nice. I hadn't worn or sewn anything this length for a very long time, and I think I'm warming up to the idea, although it would limit the time of the year when I can wear skinny jeans. I would not want to wear this with leggings just on their own. I'm not a leggings person unless I'm exercising. Only in the winter, but I'm very, very happy with this. I love this neckline so much, and I love this make. For sure, I want to make it again. I would love to wear this with a skirt. I do have a lot of pencil skirts, and I think the pencil skirts are appropriate to wear underneath a tunic. The only difference is that all my pencil skirts are really short. I mean, they're not mini skirts, but they are hitting above the knee. So then the distance between the hem of the tunic and the hem of the skirt is not much, and then it looks out of proportion. But just a couple of hours ago, I was rummaging around my wardrobe and I found a pair of stretch woven yellow pants that are capri length. They are pretty slim fit. They are quite close to the legs, and they finish at a cropped height around the shin. I could use those and wear my tunic when it's hot as well with some sandals. Here's a picture. I took it right there just a couple of moments ago. So you can see how I could also wear this tunic in a more summery look, or not winter, you know, with the jeans. Because jeans for me now mean winter. You know, I mean my bare legs all the time now. This was an experiment. I wanted to test the tunic on me again, see whether I wanted to continue making these. For sure, I can see potential in this pattern. I want to try other necklines. The boat neckline has a really cool feature where you sew in a facing and it finishes the whole sort of shoulder area. You have it finished on one side and the other, and it overlaps with a button. I love that. What I don't love is how high boat necks are. You know, they're like up here and then they open up wider to there. So for me to make that and to make it work for me, I would have to redraft the shape of that boat neckline. Still keep it wide, but just drop it slightly. That means I would have to draft new facings for that. Not a problem. I want to do that because I really think it's cute. The other thing I would like to do for next winter is use the hood piece. Make the tunic, just make it a little bit longer to hit above my knee. Find a really nice warm knit. I would make a pajama, I would make a nightgown with this pattern as well, with the hood. We don't have any heating, and I actually do get cold at night when it's winter. There's wind coming in through the window, so I like to sleep with a hood on to cover my ears. Call me crazy, but I actually do that. So I think this would be a perfect nightgown pattern as well if I just lengthened it. I could see myself doing that too. So I think it's a really nice pattern to try. If you actually are headed into autumn and winter, it would be perfect for you. Perfect for this season in the northern hemisphere. I am in the southern hemisphere. But I still wanted to try this pattern and show it to you because I'd never made it before. Sometimes it's not bad to step out of your comfort zone. I wouldn't have made a tunic, but now I have, and I'm quite open to the possibilities of tunics with capri length, sort of skinny pants, but capri length, so I can wear them when it's hotter. I think that's a way I could wear them. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you again very soon. Bye.